This episode is brought to you by Peacock. The new Peacock original documentary, Matthew Perry, A Hollywood Tragedy, dives deep into the beloved actor's rise to fame and his tragic death. 5 people, including Perry's personal assistant, 2 medical doctors, and an alleged Hollywood drug dealer known as the Ketamine Queen, were charged with conspiracy to illegally provide Perry with the ketamine. Explore the details of the case in this heartbreaking special, streaming now only on Peacock.
I think you're on mute.
Workday starting to sound the same?
I think you're on mute.
Find something that sounds better for your career on LinkedIn. With LinkedIn Job Collections, you can browse curated collections by relevant industries and benefits, like flex PTO or hybrid workplaces, so you can find the right job for you. Get started at linkedin.com/jobs. Finding where you fit. LinkedIn knows how.
I am Madison Timmons.
I'm Chris Susi.
And we're paranormal specialists who live in the most haunted city on earth, Savannah, Georgia. Every day is Halloween in our line of work, so join us as we spin true tales of haunts, murders, and disturbing Savannah history. I'm Madison.
I'm Chris.
And welcome to the most haunted city on earth. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of The Most Haunted City on Earth. My name is Madison Timmons.
I'm Chris Susi.
And today we have a very, very exciting episode for y'all. We have Bryan and Jen here who are going to be hosting a small seance with us. So we're really happy to have y'all here.
Well, we're glad to be here. At least I am.
I'm super excited. I love these seances when we do them.
Yeah, and this will be a mini seance.
Exactly.
Yes, mini seance.
Yeah, the word seance means sitting.
Right.
So we're not going to be here for thousands of hours.
That is true. Exactly. But before we get into that, y'all, I do have to preface something. Our haunted objects behind us that you've noted, they've started to get a little bit rambunctious recently, so we have to make them aware of what we're doing from now on. So y'all, I need you to greet our guests and behave this episode, if you will, please.
They've arrived. We've been expecting them. Stories. Let us welcome our guest, if they dare to stay. Make sure they're very comfortable. Are you comfortable? What stories are you going to tell us today?
Jingles directed that one, y'all.
Yes.
That was amazing.
Isn't that fun? The Megan off camera has not seen their introduction yet and was just like, what the fuck? So that was a great way to start off our episode. Before we get into the meat of everything, we have a few announcements for you. So first off, we are always happy to have new people over on Patreon. It's the best way to support us to continue forward with all of our goals that we have for this year. As most of you know, if you've listened for the past couple months, we are taking on a project that we are calling G.H.O.S.T.S, plural ghosts. And basically, we're going to take an RV, we're going to wrap it, and then we're going to drive said RV to all the haunted locations around the country that you guys would like us to go to and do actual live podcasts at those locations. So if that's something that you would like to see us do and accomplish, definitely consider becoming a Parajunkie. We have so much fun over there. We're currently live streaming for the Parajunkies. And also, we do private, live streams with just the Parajunkies. They get access to our other podcast, From One to Wicked, which is the true crime. So lots of fun times over there. But if you don't want to become a Parajunkie, but you would like to support us, we now have a Venmo that you guys can tip us on if you feel so inclined. It is G.H.O.S.T.S, so G.H.O.S.T.S, tip jar on Venmo. Again, we would greatly appreciate any support that y'all have. And after that, for this episode, Parajunkies, we are going to be doing a fix after the episode, so stick around. Don't go anywhere once we finish our episode here. And if you're not familiar with what a fix is, it is basically when Chris and I go a little unhinged with just the Parajunkies. We talk about all sorts of paranormal topics. We talk about current events. We talk about just the spooky thing that happened to us. And Bryan and Jen are going to be here with us, and we'll ask a little bit more into y'all's past and things like that, dig deeper into y'all on the fix. So stick around. And last but not least, and then we'll get into all the fun, spooky stuff, we have a very, very generous Parajunkie. Lorenzo, who is an ultra Parajunkie, has been one of our first Parajunkies that we had since we started our Patreon. And he very graciously donated one of the spirit boards that JT actually made.
Handmade spirit board.
Yes. JT made this with, what's the wood, JT?
Maple.
It's maple. Very high quality wood. And Lorenzo purchased it so that we could raffle it off to another Parajunkie. So we're going to do that right now. And it's going to be the Ultra Parajunkies that comes with their tier. They get to have a raffle opportunity every once in a while. So with that being said, I'm going to mix up our little cauldron here. And Bryan, Jen, would either of you like to pull the lucky winner?
I'll hold it. She can pull it.
This one feels right.
Oh, great. A psychic pulled this.
Okay. It's Nancy.
Nancy! Very nice.
Congratulations.
I knew it was Nancy.
You were like, I could feel it in my
I
bones.
knew it.
You
Very
got a
nice.
big honking hunk of maple coming your way.
And you don't have to use this for conjuring spirits. You can also use this as a cutting board if you wanted to. You can conjure spirits while you cut your carrots. Who knows? Charcuterie, yeah.
Wherever the knife points, just spell it out.
Exactly. But thank you again, Lorenzo. We really appreciate that. That was very, very kind of you. And Nancy, we hope you love your spirit board. But with that, y'all, we are going to go ahead and get into our mini seance. And you might be noticing if you're watching this on video on Spotify or YouTube, we have a secondary camera today that we are calling Seance Cam.
Seance cam.
Seance Cam. You can put like a little filter over my voice on that one, DeBria. But yeah, this one's going to be, looking down at the table to see if anything, happens. I think we talked about possibly doing some automatic writing, things of that nature. So let's get into the fun stuff.
Excellent.
All right.
So let's start by simply having a brief overview of Savannah Psychics, your business.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to let... You want me to roll with it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I like to give her, a moment because I will ball hog.
You're courteous.
And that's the thing. I'll just run right over and think, she's got a lot of great things to say about her business. She owns it. So she's pretty much the reason why we even...
Yeah, but Bryan mainly does the readings, and I pimp him out.
Oh,
she
there you go.
Me out.
That's
And she does
typically
wear the fuzzy hat with the leopard skin and stuff. She does the whole
Love
thing
it.
like this, and she
I
makes
have a
sure-
bad hip.
Yeah.
We call that a strut.
Yes.
You got a
It
solid
is
strut.
honestly a swagger or a strut.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's a long story, but our business basically, we decided to come out of the psychic closet and say, hey, we're going to do readings for people that we don't know, and not just like celebrities and other big people. We just thought, let's just do it for the public. And about 4 years ago, if we were going to do it anywhere, Jen said, let's just do it on Broughton Street. Let's just go for it. So we didn't know how the public was going to react. That's always like the weird thing, is Broughton Street ready for psychics?
Right.
Sure.
Well, at the time, we didn't know it, but they were. So
That's incredible.
We also have a ghost tour company, Savannah Ghost Tours. That is us.
Absolutely.
And then
So
we've
if
got-
you come to Savannah, it is a must stop. The Savannah Psychics.
it's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Mystic Apothecary, and that's
And we have a lot of fun with bachelorette parties, all sorts of like birthday party groups. Even like as I don't know, interesting as it might sound, like we do things like family reunions where we're contacting
Done that.
passed on loved ones, and they all come together, and maybe like even like 5 to 10 people. And Bryan
Happens a lot, yeah.
connects
Incredible.
and Bryan has an incredible gift to connect with those passed on loved ones.
I think we all have that gift, but I'm lucky.
Yeah.
It works.
But you've cultivated it.
I've
Yeah.
cultivated it.
Because in many cases, people don't know to cultivate or to seek out. A lot of people repress. You know, the moment you have an experience, most people are like, I don't want that to happen again. You know, it's like that's the last time I want to see. You know,
we have many. I mean, I cannot tell you guys the amount of times that people will get a reading with me, and I like to ask right up front. You know, when was your last reading? I want to see, am I going to piggyback off of something that they've already started? And I don't like to mess up other people's work.
Sure, of course.
So we're talking about like a tattooist working on an old tattoo. They don't like to do that. So I asked them, but 9 times out of 10, or not 9 times, maybe like half of the time, they say, I just got a reading yesterday. And I am like, well, why are you getting a reading now? I wasn't satisfied with that. And so we get a lot of, that didn't work.
Right.
And then they normally almost always leave happy. So
that's fantastic.
That's what we do. And Jen reads too. We're in different phases right now of making our next step with what we're doing here on Broughton Street.
That's great.
Even better and more.
And for those of you who don't know Savannah, Broughton Street is a pretty frou-frou street. It's it is kind of the main strip of downtown Savannah, and to be on Broughton Street is an amazing feat, to be honest. And it's an incredible place to kind of like have all this gravital pull. You know, because just about everyone will walk down Broughton Street if you're in Savannah walking around.
Everyone at once. I mean, they've got you know Kendra Scott, Banana Republic,
exactly.
The Gap.
It's basically an outside mall, really.
You know,
exactly.
And Savannah Psychics right there, right? And they have a wonderful space. You know, you've really created this amazing like dark academia feel. It's got this very evocative kind of feel to it. So you feel instantly at ease in a place that you think, oh, this is where, because, on street level, you're thinking, how are you ever going to have anything spiritual happen here?
Right.
But they're actually up on the 3rd floor. And so you're removed, and then it's beautifully decorated. So you find yourself going, oh yeah, okay, I can get into this. I can feel it.
It's definitely it's home.
Yeah.
It feels like home.
Yeah.
And they're also right next to a spa that is fantastic. I was actually just there with my best friend, and we came out, and this man came up to us, and he's like, "Did you just go to see the psychics?" And it was talking about y'all's place, and I was like, "We did not." But go there. Yeah. And so I'm like, because I knew we were going to do this, I was like, go see them. They're fantastic. They are wonderful psychics. So,
well, whoever you are, thank you for saying that. That's very nice.
But apparently, y'all are pulling some type of energy to draw people in,
Oh, yeah. We're doing it right.
Exactly.
That's for sure.
Spiritual marketing, in the words of Megan.
And believe me, we have our meetings in the morning. So with our guides.
Yeah,
and
of course.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
So, y'all, shall we dive right on in? How do you want to start out, Bryan and Jen?
We've only done this for AMC,
right.
like cameras and stuff.
Sure.
So we just sort of rolled with it. I know that we're going to be doing something a little different because, we're doing it in front of live people. We've never done that. That'll be kind of fun. Mm-hmm. And we're going to be talking about what is behind us and possibly a few other things. I'm just not sure what that is, but definitely trying to pick up on the energies. I can tell you there's 2 that are going to be very loud. That'll be very easy probably to at least figure out why they're that way.
Sure. Absolutely.
And I'm a big believer that objects aren't as haunted as people are.
Sure, of course. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've said that many a time on this podcast.
Yeah. But if they've got a reason to be, or if they got screwed over and something happened to them, so I don't know. We're going to find out what we've got. So we're going to throw, I guess, a couple of candles on the table if that's cool.
Sure. Absolutely.
If you guys are cool with that. I brought a little.
Please explain like the process and the reasons for this kind of thing, because that's another thing is if you're inclined to do seances and things like that, it is important to note that there are levels and points of ritual that are done for a reason. You're not simply gathering around to be all oogity boogity.
Yeah, not at all.
What you want to do is you want to be very intentional with the things that you do, and lighting candles at the beginning of your seance is a sort of a evocation. Ritual or a opening, as it were, to allow for
it's group divination.
Yes,
without putting any limits on who you're talking to.
Right.
So normally when I do a medium reading and they will sit across the table from me, I'm I'm really trying to figure out like their dad and their mom's side, you know? And so I'm looking for family members and nothing else in the room because there's always stuff in the room.
Of course.
And so you're always kind of rolling around with all these different channels. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to open up, and I'm not going to focus on family.
Right.
Though I do feel like she's probably got family with her, which would make some, and it's a female, and that is 100%. Like, yeah.
At some point, that sit down will happen.
I'm going to do my best to. I'm not being rude, and I think she gets that I'm not going to ignore her, but she probably starts with a C. I'm just going to say that would track, I believe, but I'm not going to like dive in on her. I'm going to stay here and really focus behind us and in the room.
Yeah.
And see what we got. So we're going to light some candles. Candles aren't meant to be spooky.
No.
This is the way God has shown up many times on this planet in the form of fire. Fire is powerful. It's a big fire. Good.
Yes.
It's amazing. So we do it for a couple of reasons, and one of them is to get the energy here on the table and get the attraction. You know, you're going to look at a fire if you go to a fire pit. You know,
sure.
and gather around it. Everyone does that. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're. I don't like to use the word demonic, but if you're not human. Yes, you will gather around the fire too. Everyone loves to do that.
Well, it's a pure energy, and a lot of people don't think that spirits see like the physical, like the meat. What they see is an energy within, and fire is a physical energy in this plane, but it also cuts through all other planes. That's kind of one of the reasons why fire is so significant in ritual, is because fire is the same element throughout all these planes. That it can be witnessed and seen and experienced in the same way we do. So it's almost like
beacon.
Right, exactly.
They see it and they know. And I've created walls, so tiny miniature walls. That's for me to remember that we're building walls around us so that we don't walk home with Uncle Jeff or something that we don't want. So there's a lot of...
Honestly, we oftentimes discourage people from doing seances because there is kind of a recklessness to seances when they're done just, on a whim, and you have to be mindful, very mindful. Otherwise things like that will happen.
We're going to build a wall around us. I'm already there, but we're going to build it out loud. And then we're going to make sure that we're going to open everything else around us with that wall. Kind of like if you're in a time machine and you've been dropped into another time, you can't get out of that time machine because then you'll mess up everything, or they'll get in. You'll get some old virus that comes in with you. So we got to stay in that little bubble, and then when we're done, we close their door, and then we travel back, and then we remove the bubble, pull out the candles, and that's how we close it. So you open a door, you close a door. I know a lot of you guys already know about this, but some people don't. And
exactly. We're speaking in a blanket way so that everyone can have equal footing.
And so we brought some paper just in case I'm not getting a clear story, a clear words. We did this last time with you two.
That is correct.
And I can't remember anything.
We had such a wonderful experience. We did a seance in the museum. Before we were really doing anything, we didn't even have any of our real items out yet. And we were just trying to get a feel for the space and a feel for the things. And we employed some automatic writing, and we were able to find very interesting things that later we have been working on trying to sort of like validate and verify things. We had found a woman who we believe may have died of an illness, looking for her way home. Right. I think her name was Ruth. And we had all these interesting things that were going on. Since then, I've learned that we are about a block away from where there was a root doctor, a very famous root doctor named Dr. Johnson, who was very well known to help people who had been hexed, who had all these things, because we were right next to Frogtown, which was an entire black community. As a matter of fact, directly across the street was this entire community, now gone. And this building had one of the only supermarkets in the area. And this is where they would come for their food and for their things.
That's crazy.
And so we all of this is stuff that came up. And a lot of it was we were trying to like figure out the time period, because we were like looking at like the 1919, I think was one of the dates that came up. So yeah, we were able to really do some deep dives and trying to figure out the history of the place. But it was an amazing event for us.
Had a foreign. I just remember there was a foreign being. I would say
that was the Kuomintang woman
that came through.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And deciphering that was the weirdest thing in the
So-
world. Yeah, it was.
A very intriguing story is that we have an item that was giving us some spiritual angst, and
Saying it lightly.
And,
I love that.
Yes,
Yeah.
and Brian was able to not only key in on it, but found that there was a spirit claiming to have built this item, claiming to have made this item. And she gave us very explicit instructions on how to contain the spirit that was inside this vessel. And when I went looking for it, and it was very odd and strange. It was about finding a special herb that was used in the mortar of a building and things like that. And when I went to go research that, I actually found the special herb. And I also found a very special amulet made with that same herb, 100-year sacred herb, that in Thailand they used to ward away spirits. And it kept talking about the roof and kept talking about it has to be on top. So we put it right on top of it. And the most fascinating thing was there was this stench that was just permeating. When we put that thing on top, the smell went away.
Wow.
It did it.
Yes.
I love it. I love that.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
And we also have to replace the box it's in because the box broke. And that was a big thing that she kept saying was the box is broken. And the vessel's broken, and that was true too. The foot fell off the vessel. So it's like there were so many things that you said that you couldn't have known, especially given that it was a completely different culture, a completely different,
that was cool.
ideology.
She came through, even though she was foreign, very clear.
Right. Yes.
So I don't remember if we did automatic writing.
There wasn't automatic writing at that point. She was
came
so
through.
forceful.
Yeah. Some people can do that, and some people.
She was obviously a spiritual person because she tasked herself with containing a demon.
Yeah, she was definitely a worker.
Yeah, she was a worker.
Sort. Yeah,
that's
crazy
absolutely.
Stuff. I love it. I'm glad you figured that out.
Yeah. Well, again, it was like I took what you had said and then I applied it to a bunch of different searches and vagaries that I kind of knew. Because the big thing was we were told that it was a Kuomintang, but it is not a Kuomintang. That's a story for another day.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
But we'll figure. Yeah, we'll sit down. And we'll talk about it sometime.
We'll discuss it in the fix.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in the fix.
So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to do a quick little thing. I'm going to, if you guys are ready.
Yeah,
Yep,
absolutely.
And we don't really need to see any of the items. We're just gonna go for it. So I'm gonna open up a little bit of a area here where, if you guys don't mind, and you can play along. You already got your hands on the table. That's cool. You don't have to do them like this. You can. There's no rules. Everyone gets all weird about it. It's just we're gonna touch the table. This is nice wood, by the way. So that is a good solid connection. So I'm just reaching real quick. If your fingers tingle while I'm doing this, I'm just kind of reaching out a little bit. So sometimes you'll feel a little tug there. I'm going to say something, and all I want you guys to do is say, repeat what I say, okay? Mm-hmm. And we're just going to close this off real quick. So first, let me say something, and then I'll tell you when to repeat after me, all right? So all right. I'm just going to say, God, we ask that you circle us in a bubble, you protect us with a cone of light from the top to the bottom. We're about to do something here. We're going to connect with the spirit world, and we're going to allow them to speak with us in different formats. And if they want to get a little close, I'm okay with that as long as they're respectable. But God, I'm asking you to protect us as we do this. Thank you, Lord. All right, now all we're going to do is we're going to let everyone in this room and in this area, this land, this property that we're on, know why we're here, because they're listening. And then you can repeat after me. We come together here today.
We come together here today
to speak with, I'm going to say, all spiritual beings. Let's just do it.
To speak with all spiritual beings.
We allow ourselves to be vessels.
We allow ourselves to be vessels
to experience your words.
To experience your words.
I think that's good. I think we're good. Now, I will say we are definitely wrapped tight. So there's nothing getting in. I know you probably feel that. A little, I don't know, cozy blanket around us. So we have 1, 2, 1, 2. That's a female. That is not. That's yours. Sorry. Sorry. We have Megan has family with her. Okay, there's definitely one item I'm going to tell you. I'm just reaching right now. I'll explain what I'm doing. I'm reaching behind us. There's one item that does not appear to be what it might appear to be. It's different. And that one is, Admiral Akbar would say it's a trap. So you got another one. You got another weird thing here that's a little on the dark side. It's old. It's definitely old. I'm just asking, is it a human? That's the trick. You never really know what you're talking with, guys. So,
I feel cold right shoulder.
Absolutely.
So I feel like it's probably over that direction.
It possibly is. Definitely. I think just rolling off of what there, I feel the cold. You feel that right there in my hand, my right hand. This one you have to interact with. You have to do something to it. What it's doing is,
I know what it is.
each time you open it, this sounds so weird. I believe, eats. It's feeding. So
I know exactly what it is.
Okay.
And you're correct.
Yeah. And so there's I don't think it's a human
it is not.
concept. So made from a ship.
Oh,
made from a boat.
That's really interesting.
Made from a chunk of a ship. And it was, I think it left to be found. Kind of like, you find this, you're screwed kind of thing. So as a weapon, like a spiritual weapon.
Is it inside? Like the bones? Where you feel like that ship is at? Or...
I think the item is made, it's got to be wooden, and it's got to be made from a boat.
So I can't speak to the boat part, but it makes sense, and the item is indeed wooden.
And so have you guys had I'm going to just ask, shitty things happen? Excuse my language, can I say that?
Oh, yeah.
Real naughty things happen whenever you open it? Have you?
So
is it in a box or do you take it out?
I'm just going to grab it at this point. And so we have been guarded against it. So because again, forewarned is forearmed, and knowing that this item actually came with kind of a strange warning to begin with that we have yet to share in any way, shape, or form. Okay. I'll grab it, and you'll see why everything you said is very funny.
He says funny. I feel it, and it's really not a very good thing.
Oh, no.
And he's just going to grab it. He's just going to grab it, man.
Oh, it's that one?
Everything you said, right? If you open it, it feeds. That is absolutely what this is. That's its design. It is designed to feed.
It looks new, though.
Upon opening. So
you would
I don't know about this box.
Yeah.
But this thing is well over a century old.
Do you take it out or I mean, I don't want you to Jesus Christ.
See, it elicits emotion. It elicits something that it immediately comes for.
It's coming.
I knew what it was, and it's still.
Oh no, I know what it is, and it still is so bothersome. But you see, it is wood, and there's argument as to whether it came from Germany or from Nigeria. There's a lot of talk about it. This is a wooden box, but it has been retooled or refashioned because I imagine it may have, and it is actually very old. If you look at its device, this is the device on it.
Okay, you're right.
But it does look more modern because the illusion is that it's plastic. It's not. It has some kind of gesso on it. It's a thick paint. But what's fascinating is it had the woman who brought it to anybody's attention as a haunted object basically said that it spoke to her.
Tag.
And it told her that it was a very dangerous spirit, but if you treat it well, if you give what it wants, it can be very friendly and helpful. But if you don't, it can kill you.
I don't know if it's a name or a word or maybe where it's from. TAG.
So that's Tag. That's day
Tag.
in German.
That's what?
Guten Tag.
Oh.
So I mean, and that was one of the things is there's a lot of speculation that it's a German Jack in the Box, and so it would make sense that you might call it Tag or Tag.
Okay.
So it's fascinating because as soon as you start talking about it, it's like, oh yeah, I know what that is. I know what that is.
So when you opened it, that fear, it increased.
Absolutely.
So that's a real Jack in the Box.
It's a real Jack in the Box, and people don't even think about
that is jacked up.
What you're trying to accomplish with a Jack in the Box is stirring your emotions to a peak, and a lot of people don't think about that's all a haunting is. All a ghost in the middle of the night trying to get your attention. That's what it's doing. It's trying to get you to jump and give that emotional response. So yeah, as you were describing, I was like, gosh,
what's in it? Is it solid?
So it's got a gigantic. So the head is solid, but if you want to feel it,
I don't want to.
Yeah,
I'm good.
I trust you. The spring is like mechanical, which actually it's possible the spring is from a boat because it is a mechanical spring. It's not. When I was trying to explain when we did an unboxing, the spring is so strong that it is a struggle. Like I can't imagine a child resetting this. Like I have a hard time getting it back into the box and getting this little itty bitty thing to tack onto it.
Yeah, it's
I will put it away.
It is. That's very cool. The spring, that is probably the boat.
When you say that, because it definitely feels like an industrial spring, something that would be in an engine or something.
Yeah, and you know what I hear is like off or
off.
I'm not the letters. There's like probably an N. So I don't know.
Could be another German word.
Could be another German word.
OFFN something. But you put it right when you moved it, and it was like I felt the whole. I felt the whole push on it was ready now.
Yeah. Well, it got its feed. It's got its attention.
Yeah.
And
that's insane.
Yeah. No. Everything you said.
Where did you get that from?
So it's interesting because we have been dealing with other paranormal museums, and that came from a paranormal museum that shut down. And that specific item was featured in a journal of haunted items. And it was like, these are the most haunted items. So it was like and it was like Collectors Weekly. Collectors Weekly did an article on haunted items, and they actually did the that item.
So and they didn't just it wasn't just somebody coming by.
No.
Saying,
This was something that was circulating for a little while, and let me see if I can pull up the it came. So it spoke to the original owner in either a dream state or just a voice that it heard, that the person heard.
The voice in the head. Yeah, right. I got that 100%. That's how it's doing it right now.
Pull it in.
Yeah.
Pull people in.
That's crazy.
And it had a little poem. And I'm going to see if I can't pull up the poem.
Jesus, all right. As if that wasn't enough.
It has to have writing with it, of course.
This is the Collectors Weekly magazine. And in here... are all these objects that are,
there's Robert.
Robert the doll and all these things and, Dybbuk boxes, funereal statues. There he is.
Wow.
And so if you can't see it, you can look it up on Collectors Weekly. But this is the poem from the seller. She dreamed that the Jack-in-the-Box said to her, I stand around 1 foot high. Don't fool with me or you might die. Where I come from, no one knows, but wherever I go, more fear grows. Treat me well and you will see what old Jack can do for thee.
You said die.
Mm-hmm.
It resonates on that word. Like that is its own purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So the word die, that is insane. Like that is, that's heavy duty. Like it bounces. So you can feel that. The energy on that is really.
It's a solid piece. Yeah. And it was one of those things that when we first got it and I first opened it, I immediately recoiled because it was just so unnerving. It's an unnerving thing. And for anybody who's watching on camera, it's nothing like being right in front of it.
Right.
It's very upsetting in person.
Pay attention when you open it. Like, I know you're protected.
I'm
just going to say pay attention to what happens.
Well, generally, I don't close it.
Oh, good.
Generally, he sits open.
He hates that.
Yes.
Or it hates
right.
that. I will tell you, it does
so
not like that.
So I generally keep him open. I only box him when I move him.
And in the museum, he'll
be open.
Right. Oh, man. He's going to hate that. So. But that means he can't cause any more problems.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Because his energy is when you open the box, which is what's such an interesting thing that you've said.
I think whoever opens it, they have to deal with whatever happens. But if you close it, then it's like right now it's ready to cause more problems.
Yeah. Well, it's potential. That's what a spring is, potential energy. So it's building it.
I don't think it leaves the box.
No,
even if
it can't.
Open.
It absolutely can't. Yeah.
Dude, all right, that's
okay.
Neat.
That was very fascinating, and what an amazing draw because it's even doing a cursory look around, you being able to say is it in a box? Is it And as you were talking about it, I was like, that I know exactly what he's talking about.
I'm glad that all your stuff though. So you guys, there is the other one that we felt when we came in. Either it's in the middle or edging that way. I'm just not sure. I just feel like what happens with that one is it's not the item, it's what's around it. So probably family member oriented. Not sure what it is, but I can tell you, very active. It will look like, I believe, like if let's say like it's a toy or something, it'll look like it's moving, but it's not. It's being moved. So it's not alive, or like if it's a doll, or if it's a train or something, it doesn't move on its own. But it's being played with. So if you experience this, I believe it's being manipulated by a spirit that's around it. Not a negative thing though. It's very positive, or at least I feel like little on the light side. So I feel like you guys got a good one, which is great. We'll probably hang out, and you'll probably get a ton of activity from it. Just letting it be played with, and it'll be played with, and you'll see it on cameras. So you have nighttime cameras set up. You guys will be real happy to share those because it'll probably be this item, but it's not that it's necessarily haunted. It's just being haunted.
Sure. It's attracting spirits to interact with it.
And play with it. I believe there's a little bit of play.
I think it's Mr. Nope.
Mr. Nope is exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So there's a old doll, which did it originate from a German household too?
Yes. So I got it from an estate sale from a German couple, and the only thing they could tell me about the couple was that they died at the same time.
Oh.
And they had just a house full of nightmarish toys, bunch of just porcelain dolls, things like that. So I bought a bunch of stuff because nobody in the family wanted it. And I found Mr. Nope, who is this very tattered teddy bear, in the garage, and he was kind of like tucked away, but I felt him kind of pulling to me.
But the fascinating thing about him is he's so worn because it just seems like somebody had played with him until there was like his fabric is barely holding him together. And it's like, what could have been doing this? Because if these we're two adult people. They're not out there hugging on this doll this much, because you see plenty of teddy bears that survive for a long time, but this looks like it has been hugged near to oblivion. Like, like something is truly like just rubbing away the fur from this item.
I think it's a very positive human entity. So I think and they're not stuck. They're not trapped. They come to visit their toy.
That's good to know. That's good to know.
So but I believe it'll be very active. That's when we walked in the door. That was the first thing I felt was the positive. It wasn't until we got over to the table where I'm going, wow, okay, that one over there, I just don't know. It's funny, you collect a lot of things that end up being traps.
Right.
Like, I feel like you've got a couple.
We do.
But
You're
we also,
right.
and I'm just, I can kind of even feel what feels like it should be benign. It's not. So, and this one might be as potently dangerous as the first thing at the first seance. So, again, could cause death, could cause harm. And so I'm going to use a word. I hate to use the word demon, but I'm going to talk about a spiritual being that is malevolent, that really does enjoy causing death. Like, let's just break it down to really what it is. And
I think I know who you're talking about.
And
now,
it's probably technically been run through a spiritual enhancement. So it has been purposely, like a Chucky, it's been given new life and with a really bad intention. So I want to just tell you guys, I'm not sure what that is. But it does feel really as bad as the other one. But the other one you got set up. I don't know about this one.
No.
You might need to do something with this as well.
Well, so this item that I'm thinking you're keying in on just recently joined us, just recently came to us. But the story behind it involves people going to the hospital, people getting sick from handling it, people having their electronics completely abolished or rearranged.
Or headaches, right?
Well, yes, lots of headaches. As a matter of fact, headaches being the number one complaint of this.
Strong headache because I'm trying to talk to it. Yeah.
This entity has been noted to be, for lack of a better term, demonic because of its fierce nature. It survived a building being entirely flooded and destroyed through Helene, and it was in a little glass box, and the glass box just kind of floated to the door, and it was like, there's no reason this should have survived when the timber of the building was destroyed by the floodwaters.
That's insane.
So the stories around this item. Like the last encounter story that we had was a husband and wife who both ended up in the emergency room after handling this doll. And I should say mishandling this doll, taking it too lightly and taking it.
So it is a doll.
It is a doll. And when you said Chucky, I was like, well, that's it. That's obviously it.
Yeah.
So
it's been enhanced.
It has. And I think it has been enhanced by, I'm a very firm believer that vessels take on intent very easily. And the more people who gather around a vessel and think of it in those terms as dangerous and dark, and then the dangerous and dark entities around find egress. They're listening, and they're like, this is permission to come into it. Right. And so I think that there is, and this, whatever attachment it is ingrained now. It's deep inside. But this doll basically was on display for a long time, decades, as this demonic doll, and I was like, "That's it's which came first, the demon or the demon story? Which came first, the darkness or the fear of the darkness? Because if you fear the darkness, then the darkness is attracted. And
sometimes that's not the question to ask. Which came first?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter.
That's fair.
This is what we have.
Yeah, this is where we are.
And this is what we have to work with.
Yeah, so I will bring her out. I do not like to touch her.
I don't blame you, and I wouldn't. I wouldn't without like.
So
we have tongs.
We have her travel wrapped in plastic.
Oh, Charlotte.
And it's Charlotte.
Oh, that's the cold I was feeling.
Yeah.
That's
Lord.
the cold.
Yeah.
That's insane. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Her eyes
Wow.
have clouded over. And like at one point there was one eye that was clouded, and after the flood, the other eye clouded, and it seems to be some kind of indicator of the capacity of the doll. For those of you at home,
That is definitely not a human spirit.
and
that is.
and even like this small interaction has made me a little.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to call it a he.
Sure.
It is a male, very rough male, right? Sadistic. Just know what you're working with here. He's not allowed over here right now. So and I've done a little extra. I wasn't expecting that feeling.
Right.
I've done this before, and
Sure.
I will tell you, our guy is keeping us very safe, and our guy
Wonderful.
is the owner of this whole thing. So
Sure.
there's just, but I can tell you, once we leave, back to no good.
Yeah.
So he
Oh yeah.
goes-
This doll seems to have a high irreverence. So there's like this notion that anytime you're contending with it, it's toying with you. It's just playing with you, to whatever end, because it's hard to tell what it wants.
Well, I can tell you this: it does not move, but the thing that's attached with this, that for some reason someone decided it would be a great idea to put this into a
Sure.
child's toy, will cause a lot of real bad moments.
Yes.
in your museum.
We will take extra care with it.
I know you will. I know you're the dude. You guys will figure this out. But I want to tell you that one right there is. I don't know. They're both equally negative.
Well, and that's kind of this fascinating thing about this process that we've been going through, because we have plenty of benign things that may have only a very cursory, glancing blow of supernatural, as all items do.
Sure.
But we have found that almost as if there is a path directly to us for these types of items, these very distressing items. When they get to us, it's like, it almost seems like they're, because even the Kumanthong, the original purpose of that was not as a haunted artifact. Right. It was a showing the kinds of ritual practices different cultures use, and more of a worldview of cultural ritual and superstition. But after you went through that, I was like, I don't think this is, and it even said, it's not what you think it is. It's not what you were told it was.
Yeah.
And everything made more sense. Everything you said made more sense, because the Kumanthong is supposed to be a small infant child, even preborn child, right, but it had a long ponytail. Right.
That's right.
And it's like, why does it have a long ponytail if it's supposed to represent an infant? That was weird from the beginning. And even the person who gave it to us was like, yeah, this piece is rare. It's rare because they took this license. They took this license to put this on there, because it's also, for those of you who don't know, it's made to look like a desecrated corpse. So it's very corpse-like, but has this very lustrous black braid on its head. And you're like, well, that doesn't fit the motif. The motif is a dead and sunken thing. So yes, I think that that we were meant to have these items for specific communication with to allow people to be in the presence without the danger so much. Hopefully.
Well, I'm definitely done with him. Yes.
This one's upset.
Yeah.
Well, and it's also interesting to note that I think Charlotte's been extra active, particularly since Helene, because a woman who used to work with the people who had Charlotte before, she was a very elderly mountain woman, and she only was referred to as Minnie. And they don't even know if that was her real name. Oh. But she would come in and she would bless certain objects, including Charlotte. But since the storm, I don't think
she hasn't been able to.
Yeah, she hasn't been able to.
And Minnie because Minnie was the caretaker for so many of these items that ended up in that shop, and the story keeper, knowing the truth of every item that she brought, because her whole life had been kind of a folklore finding the truth behind all the folklore of the area. I do think that without Minnie, we're going to have to find a new blessing arrangement.
Right.
And other things you have back here, people have tried to do things with. So
Sure.
I can feel the try. I can feel the intention.
Oh, absolutely.
This spirit in the room, almost all human. That's really a good thing.
Yeah.
So you can go, okay, we got a lot of people, families and children, and probably 2 kids, like I feel like in the room, that may have, crossed early or something like that.
Sure.
Not they're a little on the fearful side of coming up and talking with us, but they're here. So not that you're going to get a lot of activity, but you'll definitely know. You'll feel it. You'll
Sure.
just feel it. Like you probably feel it every day. You guys are doing
Yeah,
something very unique.
We've gotten accustomed to it.
But
As a matter of fact, before we moved into this room, we used to be in this room doing the podcast, and these doors would like open and close. And,
yeah, it feels very natural. I'm trying to just focus on the items that we have here, but I'll tell you, just that one, last one, that one, I would be that one is really wild.
Yeah.
So that's why
it
looks so harmless.
It looks
so
very,
harmless.
and that's part of the danger of these items is usually the ones that seem the most harmless can be carrying the most potent and dangerous thing.
I've touched Annabelle, the real Annabelle. Nothing in her. There's nothing left.
Right. Well, because I think everybody's fed off of whatever spirit that is.
Robert, I've been near. I got to touch his arm. He has so much life, so much will to live, want and desire to be alive and to have fun. It's wild, the difference between the two.
Sure.
But Annabelle was expecting, this is going to be overwhelming.
Right.
Just listening.
Sure.
But no, there was nothing.
Yeah.
I almost think that wasn't her.
It's possible that it wasn't, and over the time, it makes sense that they would put the real Annabelle, on ice and just have another doll in its place, especially since they started traveling with it.
Right.
I was always like, "What are you doing? You're
would you do
traveling
that?
with it? That seems odd. That seems like a strange thing to do." But I wouldn't travel with the real Annabelle. But
exactly,
and it's not hard to get that size Raggedy Ann doll from I run into at least a dozen every time we go, thrift shopping. It's like
Robert is unique.
Robert is very unique.
Yeah, my friend Dustin's going to be traveling with him right
Oh,
now.
wow. That's incredible.
Some Paracon or something.
Right, sure.
different, But
I didn't know they were moving Robert. That's
either.
fascinating.
sometimes people go there to do
Right.
the
Yeah,
con.
yeah.
I don't know if this is a travel or
Sure.
but yeah, that's wild to be able to get to hang out with him and see him.
Yeah.
One of the things I want Jen to meet is Robert. I think,
Right.
Yeah, get her take.
Did you want to play with automatic writing?
Yeah, I am curious. We're gonna do this real quick. I don't know how much time we've got, but
Are we good on time, JT? Okay, sounds great.
I want to do just a little automatic writing just to see if anyone wants to.
Yes. So automatic writing, for those of you who don't know, is when a person with clairvoyant psychic abilities or mediumship is able to basically allow the loose motion of their hand with a writing utensil in it to sort of, it's almost like having a Ouija board without the actual board. They write out messages and the words happen through almost an involuntary movement of the hand. Is there not somebody there?
No, there's not anyone
Yes.
there. Yeah.
That was
like I said, we don't have folk here.
That was a loud, scary sound for.
It was something being moved.
Yes.
You'll have to go find it.
We thought the door may have opened, but
Oh yeah, that could have been it.
okay. Yeah.
Just gonna look here. So all I'm doing. All I'm doing is moving the pencil back and forth. I'm just asking if. See, I already know. We're just gonna see. I'm just gonna offer If you want to try and write something, you can use the pencil. I'm just going to move it back and forth. All you have to do is come over here. You can move the pencil at the bottom or at the top.
Yeah, cool with left hand.
This episode is brought to you by Coffee Mate. After watching this season of the HBO's original series, The White Lotus, this is the tropical getaway I needed. One more pina colada, please.
Hey, you're not on mute.
Oh, I thought I was in paradise. Turns out it was my Coffee Mate. Coffee Mate pina colada and Thai-iced coffee flavored creamers. Inspired by the newest season of HBO's original series, The White Lotus. For the love of coffee. Try now.
Hi, this is Debbie, your Blinds.com design consultant.
Oh, wow. A real person.
Yep, I am here to help you with everything, from selecting the perfect window treatments to...
Well, I've got a complicated project.
Oh, not a problem. I can even schedule a professional measure and install. We can also send you samples, fast and free.
I just might have to do more.
Oh, okay.
So the first room we're looking at is for guests.
Shop Blinds.com now and save up to 45% on select styles. Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Trying to use my hand. I'm not going to let them right now. I don't know who they are. If they don't introduce yourself, I'm not going to let you use my hand. You can use the pencil all you want. That was nice. You can write, maybe let's do this. What is the first letter of your name?
Is it a C? A G?
Now I wrote yes.
Okay, so it does look like a G here as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Yes. So a G name.
Oh, it's cursive G.
Oh, it's cursive G. Very clear.
Nice. Mm-hmm.
All right, we got your first. I already know what they're saying.
What are they saying?
They're showing off. This is. I know. I got you. I feel it's either like. I don't know.
So it almost is like bone.
Home.
Yeah.
Home.
I think
Maybe they're
go
trying to
home.
Go home.
Go home.
Not yet.
No.
It's not time to go home yet.
You don't pay the rent, so you don't get to tell us when to leave.
They're not from this time, so it's like.
Let's go again.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a very negative person here. I mean, or thing. There we go. I think they're giving me their name now.
Mm.
P?
Okay, do that again.
Oh, wait.
Looks like it might be
A J?
could be a J.
All right, let's try this one more time.
That's interesting.
I think they're attempting to do cursive, but it might be hard.
Cursive is much easier.
Really?
than automatic writing.
It's the Etch-a-Sketch syndrome. We've learned if they write in if they write in upper non-cursive.
It does look like James
There's another one.
or even Jesus.
Can you print as well? Because I think
This is yes. So back and yet yes.
They're a good communicator though. Pretty good.
And this is back.
Back.
Hold on.
That-
Hold on.
That
This is kid
That
friendly.
is definitely printing FUCK.
Oh.
yeah.
We're gonna stop on that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought they were writing their name. They're saying, "I'm going to give you my name." I'm like, "Okay, let's do it." Okay. So we got. I don't know. This is your stuff. Somebody back there.
Yeah, my stuff.
That is crazy. All right.
That was crazy.
They were being nice to me.
Yeah.
They were being nice. They were just saying, "I'll give you my name." I'm like, "Okay."
Oh, yeah.
I didn't let them use my hand. Normally, so sometimes I will let the spirit, if I trust the spirit, to use my fingers and my thumb, and they can really write gracefully. It's like amazing. But I don't trust. You know, not everyone up the top.
I wouldn't trust that one. That one definitely seemed like it had an agenda.
Go home.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's so corny. That's like a child.
Yeah, probably a child.
Probably a teenager or something like that. Someone that knows the F word. So, Jesus. Onto you. You know, when you're being filmed, this is when you get all the naughty stuff, right? Come on. All right. I want to try. I really want to talk to the happy. Where are you? Can they all coexist in the same time and area? Yes. It's a little complicated, but I don't think they pay attention to each other. They don't see each other. But unless you are.
We've talked about that too, is, spirits very likely don't see each other in a lot of cases because the type of existence that they lead makes them as ethereal to each other as they are to us.
This feels like either a lady or a child.
That was definitely an E.
It does look like an E.
I think it's a lady. I can't tell if it's a lady or a kid. I think it's a woman, a young woman, like 20s, 30s, maybe. She's just telling me hi. I love that she knows. Oh, she knows how to do this.
Is it Ruth?
She's gifted. No, this is.
Spiritually gifted.
She just does this.
Oh, okay.
So she's not. Just ask her, can you write? Just write to us. She's pressing down. Don't press down. Just try again. Give us the first letter of your name, please.
Like an
The
E again?
Yeah.
E.
Yeah.
Oh, that was nice. Okay, good. Can you give us? Let's do the second letter. Let's just go down. The All right. That's cool. Let's try that again. Sorry. I might let her use my thumb. I don't know. She's not giving me, like, the headache is gone, by the way. That
that's
headache
good.
that I had
I'm glad. R?
was gone.
Yeah, that looks like an R.
E-R.
Okay, let's ask her. Let's ask her if that's correct.
Okay.
So
It was R right? Is that that's the second letter?
Okay.
Yeah, second letter.
Okay, give us the third
Maybe
letter.
she can just do the whole name. She's doing such a good job.
Oh. You hear, Jen? she does. She's on your side, baby. She's right next to you. It's really sweet.
There's the E. R. M.
I think it was ERIN, but because because of the motion he was doing.
Oh, I see.
Aaron?
Yeah. Is your name Aaron?
Oh, Aaron. You're right.
It is.
ERIN. You can see that that's ERIN. It was written in that order. It just didn't come out that order on paper because of the back and forth motion.
Aaron, it's nice to meet you. She's young. She's not from here. Up north. New England-y feeling. She's got that New England flavor to her.
X's and I's.
Is that all? You gonna write or? Yeah. So are you from New England? Are you from? She said yes. I heard her. I almost feel like this is like what do we got? New Hampshire. That's from New Hampshire. 100% New Hampshire. She left early. She left the planet.
He's writing and printing, so if you feel it kind of.
Okay, I feel like she keeps stopping, but she's not. She's
just trying to do printing. Aaron, do you know how to do cursive? Are you old enough for cursive? Can you try to do it in cursive too? If not, it's okay. No.
No.
Okay.
That's fine.
Me too,
That's
girl.
fine.
That's okay.
I like.
That's sweet.
I haven't written in cursive since 4th grade. So how did you cross? This is where they'll either let me feel it because I'm not a big
B R E
accident.
Breath.
I think it was
Breath.
an accident.
Breath.
It says breath. BREATH. BREATH.
I understand. She choked.
Food.
Oh, food.
Yeah.
Aw.
That's an embarrassing.
I'm sorry. Is she connected to one of the objects?
She is. She's
There's like a sun.
has something here that is hers.
She's drawing a sun.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Thank you for your picture.
Yeah.
How old are you? How old are you?
13.
13. Okay.
Yeah, Matt, she's a little older than that. She's very polite.
Are you 13? Yeah. Yes. Yes.
She has a sister.
Yes.
Okay.
What object are you connected with? What object do you know here?
Something that
Oh, she's drawing that sun again.
Right.
is connected.
Was your object from Florida?
No.
Okay.
No, that's cute.
There's one that's from Florida.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is there an object Shirley Temple? Because that might be.
No.
No.
Could it be something circular like the mask?
The coconut mask?
Yeah, if she's drawing a sun.
Coconut mask does have things sticking out of it.
No, she said no.
What about,
Ask if it's just a doll, because then it narrows it down.
Is it a doll that you?
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, the name.
Okay.
The doll has a name. Is it a son or Sonny?
Didn't we say? Didn't that Jack in a Box thing say
Say
day?
Tog.
Is it the Jack in a Box?
That would be a twist.
That is real.
Yes.
Yes.
That is really messed up.
My God.
Why are you connected to that?
Oh no.
I have chills.
Literally.
Oh my God.
8.
Why are you connected to this girl?
Die.
She died.
Oh.
She died in front of it? Because of it? Did she choke
She
while
did-
she was playing with it?
Looks like yes.
Choke.
Yes.
Choke. It's scared. Oh, it's scared. She died.
She anchored. She lost her breath.
Okay.
She choked
Oh,
when it
jeez.
jumped.
But don't hang out with
No,
the thing that killed you.
You can
I think
leave.
you
can go
anchor.
now.
Yeah.
You can go. Do you know where your family is?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. So she said yeah.
Do you feel stuck here? What's her name?
Aaron.
Aaron.
Aaron, are you?
Do you feel stuck here?
No.
Okay. No, she's not.
Maybe
not
she's here
all
to
the
help.
time.
Oh.
Oh, another guardian.
A guardian.
Yes.
Another guardian.
Yes.
Whoa.
She feels compelled
Whoa.
Sure.
not to open.
If it could harm her, it could harm others.
So good, so good, so good.
New markdowns up to 70% off are at Nordstrom Rack stores now. Fresh kicks, spring tops, new dresses. There's always a score.
I mean, the denim section is unreal.
Why do I rack? All the dresses. I always find something amazing.
Head to your Nordstrom Rack store to find can't miss deals on all the spring things. Great brands, great prices. That's why you rack.
Drawing again?
No.
She started pulling and it just slid away.
It says offense?
Yeah.
No.
Weren't you getting OFN earlier?
Oh, off.
Yeah.
Off.
Yeah.
Off. Off. No.
Open.
You want us to take it off?
Hang on. Yeah.
Off.
Look it up.
Yeah.
German word. Off. No.
I don't think she's German.
Off. No. Wait.
Oh, that's right.
Maybe she's telling us to open the box so that it's off.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah, she's 100% saying,
Yes.
Yeah.
please open the box.
He's more dangerous closed than he is open.
Oh, that's so sad. I mean, she's so cool. She's a nice lady, kid.
Okay. Aaron, we're going to open the box.
OFFNON in German is to open.
Oh, no shit.
What?
Yes.
Is to open in German.
That's it. That's what's
That's what
spelled.
she wrote.
Yeah.
She's saying to open.
Saying to open in German.
Okay. So basically, the OFFN,
O-N.
NO or
NON.
NON
What's
is
NON?
German for open.
So I'm opening it, but I'm not allowing it to jump.
Good.
And now we'll let that spirit starve.
She's gone.
That's it.
That's all she
That's
wanted
what
to
she
say.
wanted.
Yep.
She came to tell us not to leave it closed. I think that might be a good place to stop, to be perfectly
I think
honest.
so.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I think so.
That's
Crazy.
incredible. So
gonna-
here it is. I'll put it here in case you could see it. It's OFFNON, which is to close in German, which is the word that you got right when I had closed it.
messed up. Yeah.
It was saying open.
Yeah, it was saying. I don't know if it was saying.
No, it might have been Aaron
It
was
her that
saying,
that. That's why I was
don't
getting
close
that
it.
word.
Don't leave
Yeah.
it closed. That's fascinating because actually when this came to us, it was open.
Oh, smart.
Which I thought was interesting because it was like, that can't be the best way to, because this is not,
Yeah.
it can't be the best way to pack it and send it.
Right.
Why would they send it open? Because this is obviously going to break off. That's fascinating.
I'm going to close the
Please
circle.
do.
I just want to get everything back to where it was. basically touch the table just for a quick second. I'm just going to say we appreciate everyone that has spoken with us, everyone that wanted to get their messages out. And even if you were here to manipulate, you did not win because we are pretty powerful here. We are the best. So you have to go home. You don't have to stay here. Stay with your item, until Chris decides what he wants to do with you guys. But definitely all the family members. You can stay with her. But you don't have to go. Everyone else has to step out of our circle. I'm closing the circle now. If everyone doesn't mind, grab a candle and let's blow it out. All right. And all I'm going to say is this circle is now closed. Now they're in the dark. They're in the dark. And we still have a bubble around us, and we're good just in case.
That was stellar.
That was awesome.
That was incredible.
All around that one thing.
It's a bully.
It's a bully. That's the piece de resistance right there. That thing is really wild.
That is incredible. That was an incredible journey. Thank you so much
Yes.
for coming out and doing this.
Our pleasure. We love to do this.
Yeah.
It was really incredible.
And for those of you who are listening, Brian and Jen have no idea what we had here. There was no prep. There was no preamble. And the reason why I chose this doll was because it was one that Brian had no experience with earlier. So that was incredible.
And I don't know German, so
I
know Ich liebe dich or something like that. You learn that when you're a kid. You know, say I love you.
Oh, and this is Mr. Nope, the positive
Mr.
one.
Nope. That's the good one.
Alrighty. So, this is Mr. Nope. So, JT, are we currently running into so we're running into the fix now since JT didn't want to stop us, so he'll edit this later.
He's awesome.
Exactly. But I wanted to bring Mr. Nope out, but you can see he's very well loved.
He's well loved. Yeah, all of his fur is gone. Mm-hmm. And
that animal has seen some love.
Yes.
It's a Toy Story animal.
It is a Toy Story animal, right? Exactly.
Yeah, it was just so, I frightened JT when I brought him back here. But it's because I came back and I was like, look what I got.
You got a mangy teddy bear.
Yeah, but he just was calling out to me in that garage and I felt like he needed to have a new home.
Yeah.
You know, since all of his family was gone at that point. So.
Well, he found a good home.
Yes. Yeah. Very sweet.
You would be well loved here. Not physically, but.
Yeah.
But your friends
lots
will
of spirits
come to visit
will,
you.
Right. That's so true.
Oh, well.
Excellent. Well, that was quite an experience. I hope everybody who was watching got to see that. And that is not going to typically happen on a whim. If you're wanting to have these kinds of experiences, seek out professionals.
Yes.
Seek out people who understand, the mechanics of seances. I cannot stress enough. Don't just have a seance on a whim. Don't just grab a bunch of friends and run down to the cemetery and try to talk to the dead.
That's for real. What you guys didn't see is what Jen and I do before we even get here. Mm-hmm. And we've been prepping all day, just emotionally, spiritually. We got our team together, but there's a lot to it. And if you do this and you know how to do it, that's awesome.
Right.
That's great.
I'm not saying don't do it at all. I'm just saying be so mindful of it. We always err on the side of caution. We always say don't do it unless you have someone who has a method. Because that's one of these big things that people don't understand, that ritual and having a method is something that spirits honor. They honor when you have a structure. They see the structure. They sense the structure because it's something that you reinforced with your own spirituality, with your own knowledge base. And that creates a pattern that they more easily communicate with. When you're just kind of like scattershotting out, you're going to get the bare minimum of contact, and it's oftentimes going to be negative.
And that is, they have to follow the pattern. They
Right.
have to follow the ritual. When I do a medium read with a one-on-one person during the day, I always ask them the same thing I ask any other spirit that walks in the room. Are you dad's side or mom's side? Dad's side or mom's side? I like to try to figure out. For you, I'm almost sure that the woman that came with you is dad's side. So I'm not sure, but they're standing on that side. Sometimes they'll break the rule, but that's just because they do that in real life.
So
So
right, exactly.
They just have their own rules that they follow. But I try to divide them up. Then I try to get them to ask, are you a male or female? She was very quick with female, like I don't know, I'm gonna Christy or something like that. I feel like it's a CH feeling. She's bringing up that word, so I just figured it was her name. But
I have Aunt Christy. My mom's one of 3 sisters, and Leslie passed away a few years ago.
Okay.
And Christy's still here, and my mom, Stacy, though they're not.
So Christy's probably talking about the one that. I mean, this is probably the one that crossed. Yes,
Leslie.
And probably talking about Christy, something. There's.
She's most likely to show up. My father's mom passed away at 101 years old last summer. She was so
The message.
She is not sticking around.
Yes.
The message is about communication. I'm sorry. I just have to tell you, there's no communication. Bridges are burnt and they need to be built. And that's why she's pissed off. So
Yeah.
just letting you know. So, but
You can tell her that we know. We know.
We acknowledge. Yes.
We hear her and we honor that message.
But humans are easier to do than what we got back here. We do have some human, and we have a lot that's just not. It's just random.
Oh yeah,
energy.
no. The bizarre thing, and a lot of our conversations kind of sort of hover around trying to explain that there are energies that have all the earmarks of intelligence, but they're really just energies, and they can really mimic what we hope and what we dream and what we're thinking. And so they become more and more intelligent the longer they start reflecting our fears. And it's like, try to always stay in a positive mindset, because it's easy to say, well, that's an evil spirit. It's like, well, no, it's just reflecting. Like, if you're afraid, then it wants to be scary because that's the relationship. If you lead with fear, then the energy will assume a frightening visage, because it thinks that's the communication. It's like, oh, this is how you're going to respond to me. This is how you're going to listen. Even this thing, it is designed to elicit a jump. And, it was so bizarre because even before I brought it out, you're like, when it's opened, it feeds. It's like, that's literally the definition of a Jack in the Box.
Yeah, it's it was really incredible what you were able to pick up on. And when we discussed the last time y'all came in, when Chris was kind of briefing us on what exactly happened, we decided to do an Estes method over in the room to kind of see if we could get some confirmation. And we definitely got a lot of that confirmation.
Yeah, a lot of what you had been saying was coming back to the Estes method. And it was that spirit, the Kumanthong spirit, saying that it can break through the glass, that it can break out, that I can break out, that I can get you, I know where you are. And it was a lot of threats coming from that, like we were, she was completely, noise canceling headphones, blindfold. And we were like, is it this thing? Is it this thing? And when we got to the Kumanthong, it was like, just get me out of here. And I'm going to get out was what it kept saying.
Right. And so I think it was helpful, definitely, to be able to have that passage, so
that was awesome.
Yeah. So if y'all have that sort of desire of trying to find the deeper root of the situation with a paranormal object or a spirit that you might think is attached to you, it is really beneficial to have somebody like y'all to at least point you in the direction,
And there's no harm in exploring. Because we get answers from everywhere, from all directions, and there are people who have put themselves on the line to speak where you probably shouldn't, where conceptually, and we were talking earlier about ghost heroin, the parajunkies and stuff, but the truth of the matter is, if you're alone and you don't know exactly what you're doing, and you start to really get involved with a spirit, it's highly intoxicating, and they can lead you on a very merry dance, and you quickly forget your senses, your sensibilities. It's easy to get lost,
right?
And so, without somebody who knows how to cut off the ties, who knows how to bolster themselves against it, you can lose sight of the real world, spending so much time on the other side.
Absolutely. But Bryan, Jen, thank you so much for joining us today. This was absolutely incredible. And I know just looking at the brief little comments that we were able to see, they absolutely loved this.
Oh,
so
fantastic.
Yes.
It was a pleasure. We had a good time.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yes. And like we said at the beginning, y'all, if you are ever in Savannah, go check out Bryan and Jen at Savannah Psychics and maybe get a reading of your own.
Or a ghost tour with them.
Or a ghost tour. So there you go. But with that being said, thank you again. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day whenever you're listening to this. And my name is Madison Timmons.
I'm Chris Susi.
And stay spooky, y'all.